Oh man, oh.
So I turned 40 this week. Cheers. If you could talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you say? I know what I'd say. And just for the fun of it, I came up with a list of 40 things. 40 at 40. I love symmetry in my cliches. So here goes. Number one, we'll start with the serious stuff. You're not a business person. So don't waste time getting lured by get-rich-quick schemes or buying a rundown triplex, thinking that'll be a viable way to make money. It won't. And you'll just make yourself miserable. Number two, unless you want your soul to become a shriveled little raisin, avoid office settings. You remember Office Space, the movie? That really is what office life is like for you. Number three, on the polar opposite of the suit and tie lifestyle, don't think you can go all in on the back to the land tree hugger fantasies. There are useful, fun things you enjoy, like having a garden and knowing how to butcher a pig. But the off-grid, self-sufficient, living off the fat of the land fantasy is a fantasy. Number four, you're a creative. You always have been the creative type and you always will be the creative type. So, number five, you come alive when you're doing creative work. And number six, contrary to what people have told you, you can earn a living as an artist. There's this stereotype of the starving artist, and that's the only thing most people know. But there are tons of people who earn a living doing creative work. So, number seven, be one of them. Don't wait till you're 30 to find a job in a creative field. Number eight, since we're talking about stereotypes, realize that lots of people confuse their stereotypes for knowledge. They saw a movie once in 1981 or something, and that fiction hardened into truth. They often don't have any practical experience with what they're talking about. Number nine, these same people are often very vocal about giving you their misinformed advice. Just because they're loud and they speak with full confidence that what they're saying is the truth, the only truth and nothing but the truth, it isn't always. Number 10, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't seek out advice. Of course you should. The internet is okay, but one-on-one human conversations will always be the best resource. Find people with actual experience of the things you're seeking advice for, and then ask them your questions. Real people with real experiences, not opinions. Number 11, after research comes action. Now, many people over the years will say that they admire your capacity to just go for it. You don't overthink things. You don't hesitate. You act. And this is often a good thing. But number 12, you'll start so many projects without thinking it out or planning properly. You won't even have a clear idea of what the goal is. Usually, if you start something and simply hope for the best, it won't amount to anything except debt, discouragement, and self-doubt. Learn to plan. Please, learn to be strategic. Number 14, know that though you're good at starting things, you are terrible at sticking with it. Your biggest Achilles heel is your lack of persistence. Work on that. That being said, number 15, don't be an idiot. If things aren't working, it might mean you're trying to shove a round peg in a square hole. The best things in your life, your wife, your kids, your work in a creative field, all of those things fell easily into place. You didn't have to force anything. So, number 16, you might not believe in asking the universe or manifesting, but everything good in your life did flow easily forward. If you don't have to force it, it's probably right. But number 17, there's a caveat. Don't be lazy. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. It's as simple as that. And to add to that, Bubble Shooter is not your friend. Instagram and YouTube are not your friends. The Food Network will teach you how to be a pretty awesome home cook, but recognize that too much time spent in front of the TV is a thing. Recognize distractions and do your best to limit them. Number 19, even if you do everything right, success is not guaranteed. By success, I mean things most people associate with success, right? Like fame and fortune. This is your healthy definition of success, okay? You ready? You're enjoying the process and the bills are being paid. That's it. It's not about the results. It's the process. Which brings us to number 20, the biggest source of frustration of your life, money. It sucks. It really sucks. And there'll never be enough. One reason is that you're not the kind of person who will sacrifice your relationships and well-being in the name of money. So don't make life decisions with money as the first factor. That's number 21. It doesn't mean you should abandon yourself to the misery of debt, because if there's one thing that sucks even more than not having money, it's having a deficit of money, being in debt. Debt is a deep, dark, merciless pit of despair and anxiety. Avoid it at all costs. Number 22, money, career, time management, all of that is work related. But though work is necessary and at the best of times fulfilling, it isn't what's most important. Your relationships are. I know it sounds tacky, yes, but it's true. Having healthy relationships is the biggest predictor of longevity. Not exercise, not diet, not the amount of movies you've seen, relationships. And number 23 is for relationship number 1 with Nat. You've been with her since high school. It all started way back in 2001. You'll be with her every day. She will be your best friend. You're lucky that, barring a few small rough patches, it'll never be hard to maintain that relationship. But, recognize how lucky you are. And number 24, be aware that being with the same person every day for decades is a recipe for habits to develop. Consistency is great, but it's no excuse to never make an effort. The occasional spontaneous kindness is always appreciated, and it helps you to take stock. So do that. Number 24, this also applies to your friends. You're really bad at keeping in touch. Don't wait till you're going through a rough patch to recognize the relationships you currently have and have had in the past. Maintain them. It can be as simple as a quick text conversation once a year. But number 24, even more important than friends, are your 2 kids. They are very much their own people, and being their father is a gift. And though your goal is to raise kind, happy, resilient, and hardworking people, you also have to remember to be patient. Also, number 25, if the currency of relationships is time spent together, this is doubly true for kids. Because number 26, kids really do grow up fast, and you'll never have another chance to be with them when they're 8 or 12 or 16. Say yes to spending time with them as often as you can, even if they don't share your interests. Number 27, the reason you weren't properly guided as a young person is because few paid attention to who you were as a person and what conditions made you shine. Do not make the same mistake with your kids. Recognize how and where they shine, foster that, and give them everything they need to pursue a fulfilling life. Number 28, you won't care, Nat won't care, and the kids will certainly not care about material possessions. Things are worthless, and the pursuit of things is idiotic. Experiences, both big and small, those matter. Invest your time and energy in experiences, not things. Number 29, if you thought Bubble Shooter was distracting in 2003, you will be terrified by how omnipresent the digital distractions are in 2024. The antidote to digital distractions is, thankfully, experiences. Yes! The more you and your family do in the real world, the less you'll sacrifice valuable hours of your life to the gods of the digital world. Number 30, speaking of experiences, you'll spend your entire adult life dreaming about traveling and or living abroad. You'll rarely have enough money to travel, but one day, you'll learn that your career as a teacher is a way for your whole crew to live abroad and travel while you're at it. It's called international schools, baby. And you get a job in Vietnam. Number 31, 1 week after your 40th birthday, you'll move with Nat and the kids across the globe, where the plan is to work and travel all over Southeast Asia for 2 years. 2 years, full of experiences. Here are some of the plans, okay? You will spend the 2024 Christmas holidays island hopping in the Philippines. In April of 2025, you will meet up with one of your favorite former students to have an authentic travel experience in Cambodia. And that, my friend, is just the tip of what's to come. Because number 32, you do not have to move back to Ottawa or even to Canada. You can stay in Asia. You can try out Europe. You can go see if Buenos Aires is as awesome as people say it is. You can live wherever you want. On Earth, for now. Number 33, one reason for this brings us back to relationships. Twice you uproot your life and move somewhere you don't really want to be with the hopes of being closer to family. Both times you eventually realize that you don't have the kind of family that spends all their time together, and you don't really want that anyways. Most of the time, everybody is just doing their own thing, and that's okay. It's okay to only see people on holidays or Father's Day or other special occasions. So don't think family tethers you to a place. You can and should live wherever you want. Planes exist for a reason, both for you and for your family members. Number 34, you also can and should accept that you're a teacher at heart. Even when you were only working in television, there was a pedagogical streak to what you were doing. And number 35, not only are you a teacher at heart, you're good at it. Most students are receptive to your zany style of teaching, and you really enjoy seeing their skills evolve to the point where they're surpassing you in whatever expectations you might have had. So, number 36, even if you fantasize about once again being a full-time creator like you were in the years where you worked exclusively in television, teaching is a great, steady gig for you, especially if they give you classes in the arts. And if you stick to high school. You taught first grade for 1 year, that was not good for no one. Number 37, though I'd changed some things about everything I've said, though there were some really terrible times, all the hardships make you who you are. That's just fact. You can't learn anything about yourself or about life if you never mess up or take risks. So I guess my advice to myself on my 40th birthday is to keep taking those risks while trying not to mess up too badly. And number 38, I'd tell myself, can you just commit to being healthier? Diet and exercise, man. It's not rocket science. Candy is not your friend. Chips and ice cream aren't your friends. Sitting on the couch for 3 hours every evening is a waste of the remaining time you have in your life. Because number 39, if you're lucky, 40 might very well be middle age, by which I mean you'll live to be at least 80. Everything you've lived so far, there's the same amount of time coming up. But if you're not careful, you could be dead in half that time or less. You are past your biological prime. The only way to hang on to some of that prime is diet and exercise. Yes, simple. But that being said, number 40, chocolate and peanut butter ice cream. Stop trying other varieties. That is the pinnacle of ice cream. So yeah, that's what I'd say to my 20-year-old self if I could talk to him. How about you? What's your list?